sir, for your introduction. Madam,
Sir.
my voice is audible, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you, madam. Good morning, all of you. I think we have yesterday discussed about the market survey.
Sir,
Not
now your
elaborate.
voice is low, sir. Okay.
Madam, it's okay, madam?
Now it's okay, sir.
So we have yesterday we have discussed about the market survey and what is market survey, how we can carry out the market survey, and what are the tools and techniques available, and what is the procedure we have to follow when we are going to get do in a survey. So here, friends, I think all of you know that survey means a collection of information from the respondents for the getting knowledge about any particular issue. Here market survey means survey regarding the market or marketing issues. It means we will get the information from the respondents. Here respondents means the customers. So about the market related issues like about the organization or about the product or about the service. It means the information regarding to the quality of the product, quantity of the product, otherwise to know about the potential competitors, or to know about the marketing channels, to know about the services rendered by the organization, or to know about the whatever may be the information we want to get from the respondents, we will get by collecting the information from the respondents. So here respondents means in the market related issues, customers or consumers, or marketing or sometimes marketing managers or middlemen, those who are closely related to the market of that particular product or service, or the organizations are become the respondents. So here it means all of you know that marketing survey means systematic collection, recording and analysis relevant to marketing problem of a business in order to develop an appropriate information and information decision making in marketing area. That is the broadly yesterday we have discussed about the market survey. It means market survey always includes collection of the data, recording of the data, analysis, interpretation of the data, analysis of the data, and preparation of the reports, and adoption of the report, and taking the decision based on using the report prepared by the experts. That is the broadly the meaning of the market survey. It means we will collect the information and we will record the information. We will analyze the information by using the different tools and techniques, and software. Nowadays technology is growing, and day by day it is changing, so that we are having latest tools and techniques for easy analysis of data. You can collect the data and you can enter the total data into the software. If you click whatever the technique you can select the technique, and you can click the button, then you will easily get the answer. But getting answer is very easy by using the softwares. But analysis of the data also an important thing. How we can analyze the data will be, that is the second, that is not our area, today's discussion area. So that here important thing why we are going to discuss about the questionnaire means, first and foremost step in the market survey is the collection of the data. So after collecting data only, we will record the data, we will analyze the data, and we will interpret the data, we will prepare the reports, and based upon the reports, we will take the decision, appropriate decision in the time to time in the organization. So that is the procedure we have followed in the market survey. So first and foremost and important step is collection of the data. So how to collect the data from the respondents? Because respondents are not in one place. A huge number of respondents are there, and we cannot contact all the customers personally, and we cannot collect direct face-to-face. We cannot contact face-to-face. Sometimes they may be hesitate to come forward in front of you also, so that they can sometimes they may be hesitate to reveal their confidential informations also. Many difficulties are there. But By avoiding all these difficulties, sometimes, many times we will get accurate data from the respondents. So here collection of the data, how you will collect the data, that is the discussing area now that today's we will discuss about that particular area. So here questionnaire, through questionnaire only we will collect the data. So now we want to know what is the questionnaire, how to prepare the questionnaire, what are the different types of questionnaires are available for the researchers to get the or to collect the information. That is the major important discussing area, today's session's discussing area. So this is the now how to prepare the questionnaire, how to design the questionnaire. That is the difficult task for the researchers, because many types of questionnaires are there. You have to select what is the suitable questionnaire for your research. So that is the very important and very difficult. So that you have to carefully, you have to analyze the case, and you have to select the questionnaire, and you have to prepare the questions, and you have to supply the questionnaire to the respondents, and you have to collect whatever the required information from the respondents. Then only you will be successful in getting the information from the respondents to take the decision in the organization. If otherwise, if you fails to collect the appropriate decision from the respondents, your decision will be also definitely it will not be a good decision, definitely. So that the questionnaire design is an important difficult task for the researcher. So now we will discuss what is the questionnaire, and 1 minute. See here. So what are the contents we will discuss today is first introduction, why questionnaires are important. We have discussed meaning and definition, when to use, why to use, what are the characteristics of the questionnaire, and elements in good questionnaire, advantages and disadvantages of the questionnaire, types of survey questionnaires, and ideal qualities of the questionnaire, and how to interpret or develop the design the questionnaire. We have to discuss. See, research is a quest for knowledge. It's mean through diligent search or investigation or experimentation, we will get the information that for the research. So that research means is a quest.
Sir,
Yeah,
sir,
madam.
sorry for interrupting. Sir,
Madam,
actually
madam.
slides change అవ్వట్లేదు sir. Still we are with the first slide అట్లే ఉంది.
1 minute, madam.
Okay, sir.
Yesterday also same problem arises.
Yeah,
Now, madam.
Change అవుతుంది sir, change అవుతుంది.
Okay, madam. Madam, it's okay, madam. Hello.
Make it full screen sir. Slide show పెట్టేసాయండి.
Yeah, madam. Slide.
Now it is slide show. Okay sir, no problem. Carry on sir.
Madam, it's okay.
Okay sir.
Appearing PPTs are visible, madam.
Visible sir.
See, research is a cost means it is a zeal of, it means it is some sort of interest to know the new things, that is called as a research. So research is a zeal or a quest for the knowledge, getting the knowledge. So mainly aimed at the discovery and interpretation of new knowledge. So here, so the method of data collection is one of the important steps in the research process. So because what we already discussed means market survey is done only because of to know the information from the respondents, and to take the decisions. So data can be collected through data collecting instruments like questionnaires, schedules, and interviews. Here, friends, 3 types of sources are there to get the information, that is the questionnaire, schedules, and interviews. So we have to know what is the major difference between questionnaire, schedules, and interviews. So questionnaire means total we will prepare the questions, and we will put in a form of questionnaire, and then we will supply it to the respondents. The respondent will fill the answers and we will get back the questionnaire. That is called as questionnaire. Here respondent will fill the total answer, generally total information in the questionnaire. So based on their information, we will analyze the data. That is the questionnaire. Generally, when the people are literate, questionnaires will be supplied to the respondents and we will get back the questionnaires to analyze the data. Schedules. Sometimes schedules means sometimes respondents are illiterates. Generally, they are not in the capacity to fill the information in the questionnaire. So that we will questionnaire will give the answers and we will fill the answers in the schedules. That is called as schedules. The questionnaires, respondents there, they will fill the information. In the schedules, we will record the information. We will record the information. And the interviews means we will interview the persons and we will get the information and we will record the information. So that is the major difference between the questionnaires, schedules, and interviews. Questionnaires means total information will be filled by the respondents only, and the schedules means if the respondents are generally illiterates, we will interview. We will pose the questions to the respondents, and we will record the responses in our schedules. That is called as schedules. Interviews means we will directly interview the respondents and we will record their opinions in that particular prepared structure. So that is the major difference between the questionnaire, schedules, and interviews. So questionnaire is one such tool used to collect the information which can cover almost all practical issues we have already discussed. Questionnaires are extensively used in surveys and forms, the backbone of the survey procedure. So here the definition is the questionnaire was generally the questionnaire was invented by Sir Francis Galton, a British anthropologist, in the explorer and a statistician in the late 1800s. So he was the first anthropologist who used the questionnaire in the first time. It is in the 18th century. So definition: we have to know what is the questionnaire. So a questionnaire is a research instrument consisting of a series of questions for the purpose of gathering information from the respondents. So friends, we have already discussed that a market survey means collecting information from the respondents and analyzing the information and preparing the reports, and based on the reports, we can take the appropriate decision in the organization. So this questionnaire will be helpful to collect the data from the respondents. So that questionnaire is a research instrument. Generally, this is a tool for collecting the data from the respondents. So this means questionnaire is a measuring device used to query a population or a sample in order to obtain information for analysis. So questionnaires are the sources or instruments or devices for the researchers to collect the information from the respondents in the organization. So market survey will be done only by collecting the information through questionnaire. That is the discussing area. Yesterday we have discussed about the market survey. What is the market survey? Now we are discussing about the questionnaire. So questionnaire is the instrument or device or tool for the researchers for collecting data regarding any issue or any or area or any marketing or finance or whatever it may be, the political relating the issues. So here a questionnaire is simply a list of printed questions that is completely by or for a respondents. It means it is a list of printed questions. Very simple. Questionnaire means it is a list of printed questions that can be helpful for collecting data from the respondents. So this is the definition of the questionnaire. Now it is clear that it is the research instrument for the researcher consisting of a number of questions or a series of questions for the purpose of collecting information from the respondents. That's it. That is the questionnaire. So preparing questionnaire or a form is one of the most delicate moments of the entire work. Friends, we have already discussed that the purpose of the survey should be well determined, and then only we will get accurate information. So that purpose may be prepared, well defined, But when we are going to prepare a questionnaire, prepare a questionnaire, we have to take several measures to form questionnaire in a systematic manner. Otherwise, it is very difficult to collect the information from the respondent. So because respondents are not in the position to give every information, they are not ready. But with our efforts only, we want to get the total information from the respondents. So if insignificant information is asked and important information is omitted, so the purpose will not be fulfilled. Result will be irrelevant and of little use. There is no use because our research the purpose of our research will not be fulfilled. So that questionnaire preparing is a very important and most delicate moments of the entire research work. So before starting preparing a questionnaire or a form, it is important to know that it is necessary to distinguish among key variables, explicative and demographic variables. Among key variables, explicative variables and demographic variables. Three types of variables are there. So it means, friends, before going to prepare a questionnaire, we have to identify what are the key variables of that particular issue, what are the explicative variables of that particular issue, what are the demographic variables of that particular issue. We have to distinguish and we have to identify these three variables. So if we identify all these three variables, then it is become very easy to prepare a good questionnaire. So we will get madam.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sir, actually slides are not changing, sir. It is in the content slide only.
Madam, is it okay, madam? If it is not also.
You are in the second slide, sir. Okay.
1 minute, madam. 1 minute. Madam? Hello, madam?
Sir,
Okay, madam.
Slide is visible, sir, before also, but when you're explaining, the slides are not changing.
Now it's changing, madam.
No, sir. You are in 7th slide, sir. Preparing a questionnaire is one of
Yeah,
the.
madam. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Madam, is it changing?
No, sir. You are with same slide only, 7th slide only.
7th slide only.
Sir.
Madam, screen is visible, madam?
No, sir. Not visible, sir.
Screen also. Not visible. Sir, leave మళ్ళీ చేయండి. Madam, whiteboard visible unda madam?
Yes, sir. Whiteboard visible, sir.
Okay, okay, madam. Now, madam.
Sir, now before that also the screen is visible, sir. Just to change the slide, we'll see. Okay. Nana, 2 minutes, Nana.
Madam.
Yes, sir. Now you are with content slide, sir.
Okay, madam.
Okay. Next introduction. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Full screen చేస్తే అది మూవ్ అంటే విజిబుల్ లేకుండా పోతున్నది మేడం మామూలుగా.
Okay, sir. Okay. Now it's okay, sir. Zoom చేస్తారు.
Okay,
good. Okay, sir. Carry on, sir.
Okay, madam.
Okay,
So
sir.
here, thank you, madam. So sorry for the disturbance because
no problem, sir.
it is not in our hands because technical problem, madam.
No
So
issues,
questionnaire. So while preparing the questionnaires, so we have to identify 3 types of variables. That is the key variables, explicative variables, and demographic variables. So here, what are the key variables? For example, are those key variables are those which describe the topic under investigation. For example, on what purpose we are going to collect the information, and what are the key variables relating to that particular issue. For example, if the study is relative to cancer, for example, if we are going to collect the cancer, the spreading of cancer in, for example, in one particular area, otherwise, whatever may be the issue related to cancer, they say here key variables will be relative to cancer and how the cancer will be spreaded, and what are the regions to spread the cancers, and generally what are the age of the people generally affecting the cancers. So that these are the key variables. For example, so if we are going to collect the information, if we want to prepare the questionnaire for collecting the information related to cancer, key variables will be relative to cancer. That are the key variables. So explicative variables are those variables which might be correlated, a link to that particular cancer. So to the key variable, for example, in the case of cancer, it could be the environment, stress, food, and many other variables are there. For example, what are the food habits by that particular person, and what type of job he is doing, and what type of stress he is facing in the, for example, in a working location. Otherwise, where he is staying, what type of environment it is. So all these are called as linked variables. These are called as linked variables. Explicative variables are called as linked variables. So that relating to the cancer, variables relating to the cancer are key variables. That can be, these variables can play an important role in the spreading of cancer. So that variables are called as key variables. So explicative variables are linked variables to the cancer. So that is the explicative variables, or it is also called as linked variables. So the structured variables means demographic variables. These variables are also called as demographic variables. So demographic variables are generally means age, sex, education, profession. Like these are called as demographic or socio-economic variables. These are also called as structured variables, socio-economic variables, and demographic variables. So here we have to identify 3 types of variables while preparing the questionnaire. Key variables are closely relating to the issue, main issue, that is the cancer. For example, here in our example, explicative or linked variables are the variables which are closely related to that particular cancer, that are called as explicative variables or linked variables. Third one also very important variables. These are demographic variables. These are also called as socio-economic conditions, or these are also called as structured variables, or like age of the respondent, sex of the respondents, education qualifications of the respondents, profession, what profession he is doing, like that. These are the important demographic variables we have to identify before for preparing the good or structured questionnaire. So generally these three variables we have to identify before preparation of that particular questionnaire. So now it is clear about these three type of variables. So now when to use questionnaire, when we will use the questionnaire, that can be also discussed. When resources and money are limited, generally the purpose why we are using this questionnaire means generally face to face we cannot contact all the respondents. It is very expensive, very time consuming, and very costly, and it is sometimes it is very difficult to contact all the respondents personally, and so that we can by supplying the questionnaire we can easily collect the information from the respondents. So resources and money are limited, and we can save the money by distributing the questionnaires to the respondents. That is the first important point. And second one is when it is necessary to protect the privacy of the participants, because many of the respondents, many of the people they may be hesitate to reveal their confidentialities. For example, if you want to collect the information relating to the cancer, generally people cannot reveal their diseases. Generally, that is because they feel that if we reveal our diseases to the other, they may be feeling otherwise, and so that people cannot forward to reveal their diseases like that. So that if you supply questionnaire, it is the information may be protected, so that participant will easily respond to your questionnaire. And when corroborating other findings. So here corroborating means we know that. So here it is a very important for the. Here it is corroborating means to generally to support or to prove or to test the findings. We have to supply the questionnaire, and we have to collect the information, and we have to test, we have to correlate, or we have to strengthen these findings. So generally these three are the cases when we can use the questionnaires, because to save the resources, and to protect the privacy of the respondents, and to test, to collect the what we call to collect the testing to collect that information, to test the findings. So these are the three important steps we can follow, or we can use the questionnaire. So why is a questionnaire important? This is also important. Why the questionnaire is important? Because many questionnaire is there, schedule is there, interviews are there. Why we are selecting the questionnaire only? That is the important thing. So a questionnaire is the main means of collecting quantitative primary data. So it means questionnaire is the main the purpose of the preparing the questionnaire is to collect the quantitative primary data. So here it means we are directly contacting information from the respondent. No, it is sometimes you know that primary data or secondary data. Primary data means first-hand information we will directly collect from the respondents. Secondary data means already available data in the, for example, if you want to collect the information relating to the cancer. So if you want to collect the secondary data relating to the cancer, we will get many reports, we will get many government reports, and even we will get many other institutions, private institutions also done the many reports regarding to the spreading of cancer in India. For example, if you take the India, for example, if you take the Andhra Pradesh also, many NGOs also they will conduct the surveys on the, for example, spreading of the cancer. If already available data is there, if you use already available data reports for analyzing the cancer, then it is called as the secondary data. So here, by supplying the questionnaire to the respondents, we will collect the data direct from the respondents. So that is the first-hand information we are collecting. Accurate information we will collect by supplying the questionnaire. So a questionnaire enables quantitative data to be collected in a standardized way so that data are internally consistent and coherent for analysis. So friends, here by using the questionnaire, we will collect the quantitative data systematically, standardized data in a way of systematically. That data are internally consistent and coherent for analysis. It means original data we are collecting. We are not depending on any reports or any other third party or any other third person. We are directly researcher and respondents. We are collecting from the respondents, so that we will collect original data from the respondents. So that is also another important thing. So a questionnaire ensures standardization and comparability of the data across interviewers, increases speed and accuracy of recording and facilitates data processing. See, by supplying the questionnaire only, we will collect the entire data relating to the issue. So for example, if you want to collect the data relating to the cancer, we have already discussed three types of variables we have to identify, and we will prepare the questionnaire by covering all the three types of variables: key variables and the demographic variables and other variables, three variables. So our question should be relating to the all variables, so that we will collect entire standardization data or entire data relating to that particular issue. So no third party is involved. We will collect. Important means we will collect original data. No third person. We are not depending upon any third person or any report, and we will collect entire data. So the data will be very. This is the data which we will collect through questionnaire is having accuracy, and definitely data will be 100% data will be collected through questionnaire only. So here characteristics of the questionnaire, result can be tabulated. So what are the important characteristics of questionnaire means? Results can be tabulated by using the information, by collecting the information. The final results can be tabulated, and we can take the decision based upon the results. So standardized across respondents, and it means we are generalizing. We are by collecting all the respondents' information, opinions. Then we can standardize across the respondents, understandable to respondents. This means we will prepare a questionnaire in such a manner that we can involve the respondents into that particular questionnaire, and the questionnaire we will prepare the questions in such a manner that a question should be easily understandable to the respondents and elicit information from the respondents. So these questionnaires will be helpful to collect the information from the respondent. So these are the important characteristics. Means questionnaire can be useful to tabulate the tabulation for analysis, standardized across the respondents. It means we can collect the same information from all the respondents, and the question should be easily understandable to the respondents, and total 100% information should be collected by supplying the questionnaire from the respondents. So these four are the important characteristics of the questionnaire. So some and it means for easily understanding, I'm mentioning a good questionnaire must obtain the most complete and accurate information. If the questionnaire, if you prepare questionnaire in a good manner, then you can easily you collect the information, and you can collect the accurate information, and is organized and worded to encourage the respondents to provide accurate, unbiased, and complete information. So whatever information you want to collect, it is totally depends upon your questionnaire. You should be very careful while preparing the questionnaire, because if you ask, for example, controversy question, if you put controversial question in the first question, generally respondents cannot say their opinion on the controversial issues generally. So that this particular good questionnaire is always encouraging in such a manner that they can encourage the respondents to give the information, and it will be, and it will be a it will be helpful to involve the respondents into the questionnaire. Then only we will get the accurate and unbiased and complete information regarding the issue. Make it easy for respondents to give the necessary information and for the interviewer to record the answer. And it should be arranged so that sound analysis and interpretation are possible. See, friends, if you give the questions in a difficult manner generally to the respondents, they cannot show the interest to give the answer, because they if they are confused by going through their question, you cannot get the accurate information or unbiased information. So while preparing the questions, you should be careful about the questions that are very easy questions. If you have to prepare the questions in such a manner that is very easily understandable to the respondents. So keep the interview brief and to the point, and be so arranged that the respondents remain interested throughout the interview. It means don't pose many questions like 60. If you prepare 70-80 questions in the questionnaire, definitely respondent cannot fill all the questions. Sometimes they cannot forward to give their opinion for all the questions. So that the questionnaire should be prepared in a brief, and by putting the important questions in the questionnaire. For example, generally 20 to 30 questions in the questionnaire will be good for getting the information. If possible, you can delete it up to only 15 to 20 questions. For example, if you give 50 questions, generally it will take more than 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours to give the answers to all the questions. So that generally respondents cannot spend their much time to give the information for the questionnaire. So that keep the interview brief and put the important questions in the questionnaire. Then we will get easily the information from the respondents, and you can get so what we call original information, unbiased information, and accurate information from the respondents. So advantages of questionnaires, I think we have already discussed. We cannot contact all the customers directly to collect the information. If you want to contact personally, it is very costly, time consuming, and sometimes you cannot contact all the respondents are generally scattered, so that you cannot travel to contact all the customers personally. So that if you send the questionnaires to the respondents, they can easily fill the answers for your questions. They can immediately send back to the questionnaire to you. So that it is a low cost method. It means you can save the money, you can save the resources, you can save the time, and you can easily get the information very easily within the stipulated period also. So low cost, even when the universe is large and is widely spread geographically, we have already discussed. So they are scattered. Sometimes they may not, they may be hesitate to contact personally the researcher, so that it is not possible to get the information. So that if you this questionnaire, if you send the questionnaire, they can send easily answers. They can fill the answers, and they can send back to you the questionnaire. So that based on the questionnaire, you can collect the total data, and you can compile, and you can analyze the data, and you can prepare the reports. So it is free from the bias of the interviewer. Answers are in respondents' own words. They can, it means unbiased information will be will be collected through the questionnaire, and respondents have adequate time to give well thought out answers. So it means if you send the questionnaire to the respondent, they can have the adequate time. So if you give 1 week time or 10 days time to resend that particular questionnaire to your end, they can have the sufficient adequate time to give the well thought out answers to your questions. Respondents who are not easily approachable can also be reached conveniently. So as what we have already discussed, people are universe are large, people are population is large in the number and are scattered. You cannot contact personally all the respondents. So that the in the by sending the questionnaire only, you can easily approachable all the you can reach all the respondents easily to get the information from the respondents. So large samples can be made use of and thus results can be made more dependable and reliable. So if for example, population size is 1 lakh. For example, if you collect only information from 100 members, and if you generalize the total results for 1 lakh, so you cannot get the accurate results definitely. So for example, if you at least minimum 10%, if you want to collect the information from the 10% out of 1 lakh, here 10% means 10,000. You have to collect the information from the 10,000. So this type of survey or samples are called as large samples. So you can collect the information from the large sample by supplying the questionnaire. So that you can collect the accurate information, unbiased information from the large sample, so that you can easily generalize the results to the large samples. So you can get accurate results. So for example, you see the difference. So out of 1 lakh population, collecting from 100 and generalizing the result is not at all good. But if you collect from 10,000 people and generalizing the result will be accurate, we will get the accurate results. So that is also a benefit from the questionnaire. So low cost questionnaire, a model of doing research is the low cost and free from the bias, and the adequate time adequate time will be available for the respondents. You can easily approachable and reach the respondents, and you can also collect the information from the large sample. So these are the advantages of questionnaires. Some disadvantages are also there, but these are the common in any type of research. So low rate of return. Generally, people cannot send their answers to your questions. That is also one big problem, and they may be hesitate. And if the people are educated only, they can easily fill the answers. Otherwise, they cannot. They are not in a position to fill the answers. So some people are give ambiguity results, ambiguity opinions. So that is also one part of difficulty we can face while getting the information. And sometimes this method will be become a difficult method because of if the respondents are literates, and if they are really they want to help you only, you can get the total unbiased information. Otherwise, sometimes if respondents cannot come forward to give the reply to your questionnaire, so you cannot get the accurate information from the respondents. So here forms of questionnaire. The general forms of questionnaire can be 3 types generally: structured, semi-structured, unstructured. So three types of questionnaires are there. Structured questionnaire. Structured means 100% questions structured. We can put in the questionnaire. 100% all questions we can put in a proper manner in the questionnaire. That is the structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. 3 types of questionnaires are there. So see here in this particular table, it is giving clear-cut information about the questionnaires. If the large quantitative studies, structured questionnaire can be very much useful for get the information. Here method of administration, telephonic or face-to-face or self-completion. It means if you want to do the large and quantitative studies, structured questionnaire will be helpful to get the information. Structured means all questions will be framed by the researcher only. Only the respondents will give the answers for your questions. That is called as structured. 100% researcher can prepare all questions and that particular questionnaire will be supplied to the respondent. So only respondent will give the answers for your questions. That is structured questionnaire. So if these particular structured questionnaires will be used while doing large and quantitative studies, it means we can identify the variables, we can prepare the question, all the questions relating to that particular issue. Only here respondents will give the answers for your questions. There is no extension of work. Only whatever the questions you are having, only they will get the answers from that particular questions only. Only here the thing is all the questions are prepared by only researcher. So we can method of administration we can get through telephone or face-to-face or self-completion, whatever may be, which is convenient to the researcher. Researcher can use any one of that particular. So semi-structured. So business to business studies or investigative consumer studies. Generally that particular in this particular type of study we can use semi-structured. Semi-structured means we cannot prepare all the questions. We can frame only, for example, 10 questions based on their information, based on the answers given by the respondents. We can prepare some more questions. We can prepare some more questions and we will get the answers from that. That is the semi-structured. It means all questions are not framed by the researcher. Only researchers can prepare only, for example, 4 to 5 questions. Based upon their opinion, we can extend our questions and a researcher can prepare some more questions and researcher can get the information for all the questions. That is semi-structured. Here it means a questionnaire depends upon the opinion of the respondents. In the semi-structured questionnaire, some questions will be depends upon the opinion of the respondents. But in the structured questionnaire, 100% questions are prepared by the researcher. Only the duty of the respondent is they have to give the only answers for all the questions. But in the semi-structured, only researcher can prepare only 4 by questions. So based upon their opinion of the respondents, we can extend our questions. We can prepare the more questions and we will get the information. That is the semi-structured questionnaire. In the unstructured, so it means unstructured means in the qualitative studies we can generally use the unstructured. It means there is no questions we can prepare. We can prepare only by giving, for example, we are telephoning. By telephone we are collecting information, for example, from one respondent, or face to face we are sitting together and we are face to face talking with respondents. For example, based on their answer, we can pose the immediate question. We are not prepared any pre-questionnaire structure for getting information. For example, based upon their information, we will pose immediate question to them, the respondent. So we will immediately posing the question, we will get the information. So generally, for example, if you TV debates are there, you can see that TV debates. They cannot prepare any questionnaire for getting the information from the. Sorry, 1 minute. So the major difference between three types of questionnaires means in the structured questionnaire, all questions are framed by the researcher only. In the semi-structured questionnaire, some questions are prepared by the researcher based upon the opinion of the respondents. We can frame some more questions and we will get the information from the respondent. Unstructured means there is there is no questionnaires prepared by the researcher. Only, for example, based upon the opinion of the, for example, respondents, we will pose immediate questions and we will get the information. It means there is no questionnaires prepared in the unstructured. Only by posing the one question, we will get the information immediately based upon their answer. We will pose in the next questions like that. That is called as unstructured questionnaire. So here generally the many of the researchers now they are using mixed structured and unstructured. Sometimes are semi-structured or unstructured and structured questionnaires, mixing questionnaires they are using. And sometimes if it is convenient or it is feasible to the researcher, they can use a structured or a semi-structured or unstructured. Sometimes they are mixing structured and unstructured, otherwise the semi-structured questionnaire for getting information from the respondents. So here structured questionnaires, closed-end questions we have already discussed. Structured questionnaires are those questionnaires in which there are definite and concrete and predetermined questions are there. The questions are presented with exactly the same wording and in the same order to all the respondents. A highly structured questionnaire is one in which all questions and answers are specified and comments in the respondents own words are held to minimum. So we can give the even answers also. Everything will be prepared by the researcher in the structured questionnaire. So semi-structured questionnaires comprises a mixture of closed and open questionnaires. It means we can prepare only some questions, but by posing some questions, we will, based upon their opinion, immediately we can frame some more questions. There are commonly used in research where there is a need to accommodate a large range of different responses from the companies. So these are the semi-structured. So unstructured questionnaires are made up of questions that elicit pre-responses. There are guided conversations rather than structured reviews. This means we have already discussed. We don't want to discuss again and again. So unstructured means there is no open-ended questions. So based upon the opinion of the respondents, we can frame and we can pose immediately, and we will get the information from the respondents. Points to remember before designing a questionnaire. There are we have already discussed a well-designed should meet the research objectives and it should obtain the most complete and accurate information possible. A well-designed questionnaire should make it easy for respondents to give the necessary information and for the interviewer to record the answer. It means it should be very clear. It should be very clear about the information which we want to collect, and it is also easily understandable to the respondents also. So and at the same time, we cannot prepare the controversial questions in the questionnaire, so that if you prepare the controversial questions, generally respondents cannot come forward to give the answers to for the controversial questions generally. So ideal qualities of a question: one that yields a truthful, accurate answer. So we know that on the all this design or development of a questionnaire, decide the information. These are the very important steps we have to follow while preparing the a good questionnaire. Decide the information required. First, we have to decide what information you want to collect from the respondent. Then only you have to prepare a good questionnaire. Define the target respondents. Who are your respondents? For example, if you want to collect the information about the cancer, then you have to first you have to meet the you have to go on the cancer hospitals and you have to get the respondents who are affected by the cancer, because you cannot if you take the information from the other people who are not affected by the cancer, generally you cannot accurate. It is not at all useful for your research. So choose the methods the reaching your target respondents and what method you have to follow. Decide on question content, what type of questions you have to prepare, and develop the question question wording, and wording also very, very important, because if you give the difficult words in the question, they generally respondents cannot understand that particular questions in a proper manner, and they cannot, they are not, they are not generally in a position to give the right answers. Check the length of, put questions into a meaningful order and format. See, that is also an important thing. Check the length of the questionnaire. So generally we have already discussed, if you prepare, for example, 70, 80, 100 questions, generally people cannot come forward to give the answer for entire 100 questions. Otherwise, on the other hand, if you prepare only important questions by at least, for example, 20 to minimum 20 to 25 or 30 questions, so that people can come forward and give the accurate original answers for that 30 questions or 20 questions. Otherwise, if it is the 100 questions, generally you cannot get the positive response from the respondents. Pre-test the questionnaire. So before going to that final study, you can pre-test means you can do the pilot study. By doing the pilot study, you can by analyzing the data, by collecting the pilot study, you can test whether all the information is collecting or not by using that particular questionnaire. If any unnecessary information is there, you can remove that particular questions from the final questionnaire. Otherwise, if there is any missing information is there, you can add some more questions from that for that questionnaire. So pre-test means pilot study is the very, very important for the getting 100% and accurate unbiased information from the questionnaire. That is called as a pilot study. By doing pilot study, for example, you can take the 20-30 sample, you can collect the information by giving that particular questionnaire. Then you can analyze that particular information, that whether the total information is collecting but through that particular questionnaire as not. And if there are any unnecessary information is there, you can remove that particular questionnaire. If you are some more information you want to collect, you can add some more questions. So pre-test the questionnaire is very, very important. Develop the final survey form. That is also one part of design or development of the questionnaires. Decide on the information required. So define the target respondents. So here demographic characteristics, job or social category, other relevant characteristics, secondary audience. These are the target respondents. Generally demographic characteristics we have already, job or social category. Variables, we what variables we have to include in the questionnaire that can be defined, and the target respondents from the target respondents. So demographic characters such as age, sex, religion, urban, rural, residence or income level, social class, education, employment status, and ethnic or language group. We will these are the discussed under the demographic characteristics. Job or social category such as policy makers, doctors, nurses, factory workers, religious leaders, or whatever, university students or faculty, or who are the generally respondents, you have to identify first. Other relevant characteristics, some individuals or groups may be disrespected by the people. So many, for example, such as the persons living with HIV, AIDS, or homeless populations, drug users, alcohol addicted people, or family members of the people with TB, like that. So some other relevant characteristics of the secondary audience. Your secondary audience may include allies who can influence or provide access to your primary audience, such as community leaders or health authorities. So this is the common. Choose the method of reaching target respondents: face-to-face interviews, telephone interviews, mail questionnaires, internal questionnaires. We have already discussed yesterday about all these methods, survey methods. So decide on the question content. So are any of the words or the face? So are there any? In fact, so this type of questions we can prepare and we can pose to the respondents to get the information. So develop the question wording, contingency questions, and cascade format, matrix questions, closed-ended questions, and open-ended questions. So these are the different types of questions we can generally develop the for getting the information. So these are the common generally. See, contingency questions are cascade format. Several questions have been used to scale a response to unasked but real understanding question. So these are the common. Do you use tobacco, for example? Yes and no. Two answers are there. If yes, the second question will be relevant to that particular respondent. Otherwise, if there is no, for example, answer, there is the second question is not related to that particular question. So this type of format we can use for the getting the information. So matrix questions means we can prepare in options forms. For example, strongly agree, agree, strongly disagree, and disagree. We can give the numbers. For example, strongly agree 1, agree 2, strongly disagree 3, disagree 4. For example, they can give 1 or 2, 3, 4 answers like that. Then that is called as the matrix questions. So closed-ended questions, respondents' answers are limited to a fixed set of responses. For example, four sets of response scales are for closed-ended questions are distinguished. So that is also common method we can use the in the questionnaires. So open-ended questions, completely unstructured word association. So putting questions into a meaningful order, we have already discussed. So presentation and layout of the interview form. You see, these are the answer important point we have to discuss. Representation and layout of the interview form. Use of booklets, simple and clear formats. Creative use of space and typeface. Use of color coding and interviewer instructions. So many formats, layouts we can use for attracting the respondents, for collecting the information from the respondents. So we can use different types of, for example, sometimes booklet types and simply clear some formats we can use. Creative use of space and typeface, and sometimes we can give the different color codings for the different questions. So all these methods, all these layouts can be attract the respondents to collect the information, so that we can use different layouts. Sometimes booklet methods, sometimes simple and clear formats in the question formats only. Sometimes you can use the creative use of space and type as, for example, blank. You can give the different types of boxes to give the answer like that. Some type of color codings also you can use while preparing the questionnaires. Generally, all this will be used only to attract the respondents. For their attraction only, we can use all these formats. Piloting or pre-testing the questionnaires. So I have already discussed that pilot study is very important for finalizing our questionnaires. First, we will collect the pilots. We will do the pilot study. For example, we will collect the information from only 20 to 30 respondents, and we will analyze the data, and then we can check whether the total information is collecting through by using that particular question, or we can check. And if any unnecessary information is there, we can delete the questions in the final questionnaire. Otherwise, if we feel that we are missing some information, so that we are missing some required information in the questionnaire, so that we can add some more questions in the final questionnaire. So pilot study will be more useful for finalizing the questionnaire. So that the pilot study means we can do only pre-testing study. This is called as a pre-testing study. We can do with the 20-30 sample, and we can analyze the data, and we can check whether we are collecting all the data through that particular questionnaire or not. If we are not collecting that required information from that particular questionnaire, we will add some more questions. Otherwise, we feel that we are collecting unnecessary information through that particular question, we can omit or we can delete that questions from our final questionnaires. So this here pilot study or field testing study is very important for finalizing our questionnaire. develop the final survey form. See consequences of poor questionnaire design in the research, lower response rates, questions skipping, and question misunderstanding. So consequences, if your questionnaire is not in a good design, you cannot get the 100% accurate, unbiased information, and it will become very difficult for the researchers to prepare the findings and prepare the reports. Generally, if you prepare poor questionnaire, lower response rate is there, and sometimes they can skip the questions, and they can misunderstand the questions, and they cannot give the appropriate information. So pilot test your questions like points to check. Generally, many points are there. So conclusion, as a research tool, see, questionnaire have a few drawbacks inherently. Generally, questionnaire development is an exhaustive and time-consuming process. So the accuracy of data collected using the tool solely depends on the subjective perceptions of the respondents. So reduced response rates and incomplete responses to self-administered questionnaires make it mandatory that the tools be developed as a simple and respondent friendly as possible. See, it is totally, if you want to collect, it totally depends upon the researcher how best the questionnaire is prepared by the researcher. If the questionnaire is well structured and well attractive and easily understandable, and it will be, if it will be attracted by the respondents, then only you can get the accurate and unbiased and 100% information from the respondents. Otherwise, it is the waste of time, it is the waste of the money, it is the waste of the efforts made by the researcher. So you cannot get the you cannot prepare the original reports. You cannot take the good decisions by using that particular reports. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.